Hi guys, I'm Mike Patey. I love to build wild flying machines. Today we're going to talk about Draco, the one I destroyed. It's physics, math, and engineering. Machine it, draft it, build it, test it, break it. Every time something new gets built, the entire world advances. Laying in bed at night, it's designing new parts, designing new suspension, designing new wings.
So we finally finished Draco, and we go out for the first flight.
The first time, it's coming out of the hangar, all fully assembled. We're gonna go taxi around.
That's a whole process, preparation, mentally, fire department, everybody there. And the idea is, I'm not gonna take off. I'm just gonna cruise down the runway, pick up the tail, set it back down, do some basic testing. And I did all the taxi testing, but now I'm working my speeds up. And this is to get it up to kind of a high-speed taxi and shut it back down.
Oh my gosh.
That's the day I learned that Draco just really wanted to fly, and that the wing changes and modifications I had done were beyond my expectation, because it just lifted off. Didn't come off very high, just floated up off the ground, pulled the power back, got ready to set it back down, and it just floated and floated, and then nestled back onto the runway. And this plane was airborne so early and so ahead of my anticipation, I was just floored.
That was awesome. You know, taxi testing on a 100-degree day, trying to see if you can get your oil to overheat on the ground for an excessively long period of time. Test successful, but I am hot.
I was just floored. So that began weeks of some of the funnest flying ever, test flying, adjustments, setting up the propeller, reversing pitch, when the linkage changes relative to the RPM. And all of it was just fun. It was amazing to me that Draco just had no surprises. Everything went really well. Draco was the most pleasant surprise, funnest flight experience ever.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Just a quick reminder, Patey First Flight Program is funded by the Draco PlaneTags. We hope you can pick one up for yourself, for other people you love in general aviation, so that every time they grab the key to their favorite plane and start that plane up, they're holding a piece of the plane I wrecked by making a bad decision. And remind them who's waiting for them to come home. Make good choices. Flying can wait. And also, by buying that tag, you're giving money back to the Patey First Flight Program to help people who may not be able to afford general aviation get their first start, their first flight experience. We love you guys. We appreciate it. Check it out, MikePatey.com. Back to work.
So how was that? How was it?
All right, it's awesome. Since you're recording, I got to go through the squawk list. My pen died on me for taking notes, and I didn't want to stop. I was having way too much fun. So my right gear strut needs to be aired up. Part of it's the torque of the engine is squatting it too much when I'm trying to do a power takeoff, holding the brakes short field. So I got to pump up the right strut. My N1, ground idle and flight idle are too low, both. Flight idle is a little too high for what ground idle should be. So I got to bump both of them up. So I'll turn those in about half a turn each. It should get me close. So ground idle, flight idle need to come up a little bit. My RPM is about 30 RPM too high. So I got to back that down about 30.
On your prop.
Oh, my prop RPM is about 30 too high. So 32 high on this prop is about 0.93 tip speed on the Mach, and so it probably wasn't getting really loud, but probably started to make a little crack, so I'm gonna crank that down. I got a problem with one of my strobe lights. One of the relays was working perfect during all the ground tests. It was working perfect out here. About 20 minutes in to just ground runs, it went out. One of my strobe relays went out. You know, other than that, no surprises, nothing crazy. Everything's just little teeny adjustments, and wow, it pulls. I mean, first time, I haven't got it to full power on the launch, but I took it up to about 60-70%, and man, it just sucks you in your seat, and it pulls hard. So I'm excited to get a little more time, make those adjustments, and roll that up a little higher as I get a little more familiar with it. Baby step my way in. So overall, awesome. So I'm gonna go decal it, get back to work.
So after we get all the test flying done, it is time to take Draco to Oshkosh. And I grabbed Jason Sneed, a great friend of mine, and we took off for our adventure to Oshkosh.
Okay, we're leaving for Oshkosh.
Oshkosh, here we come.
See ya.
We took out the back seats and made a big old bed back there so we could sleep in the back of the airplane. Partway along the way, he says, I'm just gonna go try it. I'm not gonna sleep. I just wanna see what it feels like to lay in the back of the plane. Next thing I know, he's suntanning and passes out asleep in the back of the airplane. So on our way into Oshkosh, we make that leg, and I'm texting a good friend, Corey Robin. We're on our way to an event called Rock the Ramp just before Oshkosh starts. It's a great gathering put on by some really great people. And it's just a music, party, hanging out with fellow aviators. Corey knew what this plane was doing. He'd seen me flying it around. He came down when we were doing first flight and other flights, and he let everyone know, hey, Draco's coming into land. And he kind of got a crowd about this red plane that a bunch of people had never even heard of.
I am so excited to see it land. I want to see it fly. I want to see the whole thing. Mike Patey right there.
There was just this line of people lined up, cameras going, if that doesn't put pressure on. And we just brought it in and landed and just stopped right in front of everybody. And it was like clapping and cheering and people saying, how is it flying so slow as I was coming into land?
What the hell? How is it going so slow?
And we got out and just everyone's walking around like, what is this? Are you kidding me? And
Dude, that's the way to enter a party, huh?
Yeah, groups of people that had been following the build are, oh, it has this, it has that, and they're telling this whole story. And I just paused and looked around and said, now this is what aviation is all about.
All right, guys, we're at Capital Flight. This is a party before Oshkosh. So
I gotta say, that was probably the greatest day in my life in aviation. After that event, we went flying to go to Oshkosh. Along the way, a group of us, the clouds started to get low, and we had plenty of visibility, but it just felt like a good time to just land in a farmer's field, great big open spot.
all right, we're in the middle of a cornfield in where, Wisconsin? Waiting out the weather with all our flying cowboy buddies. It doesn't get much better. Turn the phone around. Look at all these planes out here. Corey's hanging out underneath Draco.
It makes a good rain shelter, you know. And we're not very far from Oshkosh right now.
Anyway, this is the way Oshkosh should be done. Hanging out with the boys in airplanes. On our way. Oshkosh, here we come.
We all landed and hung out and watched the weather cruise by, and but flying into Oshkosh was magical as well. I had never personally landed on the ultralight field. It was the first time that they authorized a heavy metal, not tube and fabric, aircraft onto the Oshkosh ultralight runway. I came in over these trees, I'm like, where's the runway, where's the runway? And as soon as I come over the top, there it is. It's just beautiful, green, giant section of grass. And dropped it in, stopped. I don't even think I got partway down to even midfield and came to a stop with all kinds of room. And one of the organizers came over and said, I was worried you couldn't get in. He says, it looks like you could take off and land 2 or 3 more times before the other end. And welcome to Oshkosh. It was just like amazing.
Welcome to Oshkosh.
Thank you so much. Awesome.
So now we're in Oshkosh. We put the plane away right at the end of that runway. And it's just mobbed with people. What is this? I've never seen anything like this. Are you kidding me? This thing's huge. It was just fun to see people get so excited about something new, something different. The difference from an original Wilga to what Draco became looks so different. It's obviously the same fuselage, but it changed so much in its overall appearance, and the big tires and turboprop and cowling, and everything is so different. It was just fun to see aviation enthusiasts that knew all kinds of planes say, what on earth did I just watch land on an ultralight field? And that was the birth of Draco, the introduction of Draco to the world. Now we've got this STOL competition, and I'm going to compete this plane and see how it really does compared to a lot of other aircraft. This plane weighs 2.5 times most of the planes there, and 3 or more times some of the other competition planes. We were able to win the STOL competition, the first of many wins. To see that my numbers were beating out tube and fabric competition planes, I never would have believed it. I just never would have believed that could happen. That was it. Draco became my favorite aircraft of all time. Hands down. It's just so much fun to fly everywhere. My goal was always to say, how slow can I get it to go and still go faster? And that generally is said to be impossible in the aviation world. Draco kind of beat those odds. To go out and compete with all these other pro competition STOL guys with a brand new style plane was just a blast, because every single competitor there wanted the other competitors to do really well.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
Oshkosh.
How we doing, brother? Hey, boys.
We ready?
Yep, everybody plays.
I've been competing and racing with things since I was a child, and I can honestly say in aviation, there's nothing like it. It felt like a family, where everyone wanted to help each other with their secret to do better.
That is so awesome.
Oshkosh is the greatest place. I get to go hang out with the greatest family on earth. And during that competition, it was several days. Every day, the excitement grew. It was a few people around the plane swarmed around it when it arrived. And then the next day it was more. And the next day, I couldn't get to my plane until someone said, that's the guy who built it. It was mobbed. And I was blown away at the excitement that just kept growing. And not just with the adults, but it was mobbed by kids. Adult kids and little kids, but mobbed by kids getting up and climbing on the plane and taking pictures, and that's what made Oshkosh unbelievable for me. The STOL competition was fun, and I was blown away. But the people and the kids and the excitement that grew every day. If you're watching this, and you were one of the first to see it at Oshkosh, just put a comment. Tell me you were one of them, because I love you guys. You made that whole build experience a magical experience for me to debut it at Oshkosh with all of you. So thank you. Guys, thanks for sticking around to the end of this video. I truly love all of you in aviation, all of you that follow my silly journey and passion. And I've got more videos to come on Draco, the competitions, the trip to Alaska. Oh my gosh, was unbelievable. So I hope you subscribe if you haven't. You follow us along. Join me along the way. We love you guys. Back to work.